Lena Carter could smell the server room's ozone before she saw it. A faint tang of electricity and ambition that had been her home for 14 years at Nexlify Tech. She'd written the algorithm that powered their predictive analytics, the one that turned a basement startup into a tech unicorn valued at over $2 billion. Lena wasn't the face of the company. No TED Talks or LinkedIn influencer posts for her. She was the backbone, the one who debugged at 3 a.m., optimized code that saved millions in processing costs, and embedded safeguards against data breaches that kept regulators off their back. Her office was a cluttered nook filled with dual monitors, sticky notes with cryptic algorithms, and a worn coffee mug inscribed with Code Whisperer. Nexlify's growth, from a team of 5 in a rented garage to a 500-person firm with sleek downtown offices, was built on her quiet genius. She remembered the early days, all-nighters with the founders, pizza boxes piling up, the thrill when their first client, a Fortune 500 retailer, signed on thanks to her real-time forecasting model. But in the glass-walled boardroom on the 20th floor, Victor Lang, the new CTO with a smile sharper than his overpriced cufflinks, called her work legacy cruft. He'd been hired 6 months ago amid board pressure for faster innovation. His resume a parade of short stints at hype-driven startups. Victor strode in like he owned the code base, his gelled hair reflecting the fluorescent lights, his tailored suit screaming Silicon Valley disruptor. His first all-hands was a masterclass in buzzwords. "We're pivoting to AI-driven scalability," he declared, slides flashing graphs of exponential growth. Lena sat in the back, her pen tapping her notebook, noting how his vision glossed over the stable foundation she'd built. To Victor, she was obsolete, a relic from the pre-cloud era. He made that clear in his emails, vague directives for her to modernize the core algorithm, followed by radio silence when she delivered detailed reports on potential risks. Victor was pushing a new AI product, NeuralNet Pro, to secure a billion-dollar acquisition from Global Ventures, a VC firm known for aggressive takeovers. The plan: overhaul Nexlify's predictive engine with flashy machine learning models, outsource parts to cheap offshore teams, and demo it at the upcoming tech summit. Lena saw the flaws: overfitting risks, data privacy vulnerabilities, scalability issues that could crash under load. She flagged them in memos, but Victor's responses were curt. "Appreciate the input, but we're focusing on velocity." The quarterly all-hands was his stage to unveil it fully. The meeting was at 8 a.m., the auditorium packed with nervous energy, developers clutching laptops, marketers with branded notepads, investors like Elena Vargas in the front row. Elena was a sharp VC from the early funding rounds, her questions always cutting through hype. Lena had met her during an audit, explaining the algorithm's security layers. Elena nodded approvingly. "You're the real architect here." Lena didn't think much of it then. Victor took the stage, mic clipped, voice booming. "Nexlify is at a crossroads. We're sunsetting legacy systems for AI dominance." Slides showed sleek interfaces, ignoring the back-end Lena had fortified. Then slide 3. Obsolete framework, her photo next to consultant transition plan. The room hushed. "Lena's contributions have been invaluable," Victor said, voice slick as oil. "But we're evolving. She'll transition to a consultant role, sharing her knowledge as we move forward." Eyes turned to Lena. Whispers rippled. She didn't flinch, her face a mask of calm. Inside, anger simmered. Not at the firing, but the dismissal of her life's work as legacy. Victor continued. "This is about the future, not the past." Applause was sparse. Elena's hand stayed folded. Lena folded her severance packet, tucked her notebook, and stood. Her heels echoed as she walked out, past interns avoiding her gaze, past her office already being cleared, past the lobby plaque listing her as lead architect on key patents. No one stopped her. They assumed it was done. In the lobby, glass and chrome reflecting the city hustle, Lena paused. The severance was insultingly low, 6 months' pay, non-compete clause. But as she reached her car, her phone buzzed. Elena Vargas's office. "She asked for you by name, no signature." Lena's pulse quickened. She didn't reply immediately. Instead, she drove home. Her apartment a cozy haven of bookshelves lined with coding tomes and a high-end workstation. Logging into her personal VPN, still connected to Nexlify's network, Victor's team hadn't revoked access yet. She dug into the core code. There it was. A backdoor she'd embedded in 2019 during a crunch for debugging. A hidden access point only she knew, meant for emergencies. Forgotten, but active. It could expose logs, simulate failures, reveal shortcuts Victor was taking. The backdoor wasn't malicious. It was a safeguard. But now it was leverage. Her inbox pinged again. Elena. Lena answered the call. Didn't expect you to walk out so soon, Elena said, voice sharp. Lena. Wasn't invited to stay. Elena. Back to startup Victor tanked once. Promised the moon, delivered dust. You built Nexlify's engine. She offered a paper via secure link. Investor clause for audit on mismanagement. Need proof and a proxy vote. Lena. You want me to fire him? Elena. Erase him. Systems don't forget. Neither should you. Lena opened her notebook. Wrote, Backdoor active. The apartment felt charged, a plan forming. Victor thought he'd deleted her. He hadn't checked the code deep enough. Lena Carter's apartment was quiet, save for the soft hum of her workstation fans and the occasional clink of her coffee mug against the desk. The city lights flickered outside her window. Chicago's skyline a grid of ambition mirroring the lines of code she'd been staring at since leaving Nexlify's boardroom. Victor Lang thought he'd erased her with his slick all-hands performance, dismissing her as legacy cruft in front of the entire company. But he hadn't checked the code deep enough. The backdoor she'd embedded in 2019, forgotten by everyone but her, still pulsed in Nexlify's core system, a hidden key to logs, configurations, and vulnerabilities. Elena Vargas' words echoed, erase him. Systems don't forget. Neither should you. Lena's pen hovered over her notebook, the words, backdoor active, staring back. She wasn't out for revenge. She was out for correction. A surgical recalibration of a company she'd built from the ground up. Her VPN connection to Nexlify's network remained active, a careless oversight by Victor's team, who were too busy chasing Neural Net Pro's demo deadlines to notice. Logging in as Lena Carter, senior architect, she tested her access. Full permissions intact. Source code, audit logs, deployment pipelines. No alerts, no lockouts. Victor's arrogance had left the door wide open. She started digging, not with malice, but with precision, like a diagnostician searching for a system's weak points. The Neural Net Pro folder was a mess. Rushed commits, untested modules, and vendor APIs stitched together with code so sloppy it screamed offshore crunch. She found emails from Victor to the dev team, pushing impossible timelines. Ship by Tech Summit or we lose global ventures. Engineers flagged memory leaks. Victor replied, optimize later, ship now. Lena screenshot each one, filing them in an encrypted folder labeled Audit Trail 2025. By Wednesday, she had a dossier, logs showing skipped security tests, API endpoints vulnerable to injection attacks, and data privacy violations that could trigger GDPR fines in the millions. Victor's Neural Net Pro relied on her old algorithm for stability, but he'd stripped its safeguards to streamline. Without her keyholder authentication, embedded in the original code's governance protocol, his changes were technically invalid, a breach that could halt the acquisition. Lena cross-referenced his commits with compliance requirements, noting every shortcut. The most damning find came late Thursday, 2 a.m. Fourth Coffee Brewing, a configuration file for Neural Net's demo, signed by Victor, bypassing encryption protocols to boost performance. It was a digital landmine, live in production, risking client data exposure. She encrypted it, sent it to Elena's secure Dropbox with a single line. Check governance protocol. Line 472. Lena met Raj Patel, a senior engineer she'd mentored, at a dive bar near the Loop. Raj nursed a beer, his laptop open to a resignation draft. Victor's killing us, he said, voice low. Move the sprint up 3 weeks, no testing. APIs crash in staging. Lena sipped her soda. Protocol? Raj nodded. Yours. He didn't touch it. Just layered junk on top. He forwarded her a thread. Victor dismissing crash reports as minor friction. Lena added it to her dossier, noting, team descent. Raj quit the next day, the third lead to jump ship that week. LinkedIn updates from others followed, project managers, analysts, quietly signaling exodus. Victor's daily stand-ups turned chaotic. His Slack rants about unified vision met with silence. HR flagged his behavior. He waved it off. Focus on the demo. Friday, Lena met Nexlify's founder, Sarah Klein, at a quiet cafe. Sarah, now an advisor with board voting rights, wore faded jeans, her copy of Algorithms Unlocked dog-eared. You holding a grudge? She asked, stirring tea. Lena, not my style. She laid out Victor's shortcuts, untested code, GDPR risks, protocol bypasses, showed the Backdoor's logs proving Victor's changes were unauthorized without her key. Sarah sighed. Thought you'd fix it quietly. She signed Elena's proxy for an audit. Lena noted, board ally secured. Elena invoked the clause, Monday. Leadership audit for mismanagement. Victor scoffed, emailing legal. Push it through, minor hurdle. Lena had anticipated this. Years ago, she'd designed the audit template, now updated to demand granular metrics, commit logs, test coverage, compliance sign-offs. Victor's submission was a disaster. 9 slides, buzzword heavy, with a chart missing labels, footer, prepared by Lena Carter. He didn't notice. Elena did. By Tuesday, Lena's badge reactivated. New title, Director of Core Architecture. No fanfare, just an org chart update. She dove in, auditing pipelines, interviewing devs, flagging risks. Victor's assistant forwarded his urgent emails to her, unaware she was collecting them. The board convened in a secure room. No devices. Victor burst in mid-meeting. Need to clarify timelines. Chair, this is your exit review. Silence. He stammered, I'm driving the acquisition. Chair, Ms. Carter, system status? Her name landed like a verdict. Elena. Adjourned. Victor's badge turned red. Lena walked out, passing the innovation hub, now dark. A patent plaque gleamed. Lena Carter, lead architect. She didn't smile, just noted the hum of the building, resetting, realigning. Her phone buzzed. Elena. You've got the keys now. Use them. Lena opened her notebook, added, Control restored. Lena Carter walked out of the boardroom, her steps deliberate against the polished tile of Nexlify Tech's 20th floor, passing the darkened innovation hub, where Victor Lang's vision had flickered and died. The faint patent plaque in the lobby caught her eye. Lena Carter, lead architect, etched in silver, a reminder of the foundation she'd built. Her new title, Director of Core Architecture, came without fanfare, just a quiet org chart update and a badge that now unlocked every door. The building's hum felt recalibrated, as if the servers themselves exhaled after purging Victor's chaos. Elena Vargas' voice lingered. You've got the keys now. Use them. Lena's notebook, tucked under her arm, held her final note from the meeting, control restored. But control wasn't enough. She needed to secure it, to ensure Nexlify's systems and her legacy wouldn't be hijacked again. By 7:14 a.m. the next morning, Nexlify's internal newsroom, a curated feed for employees, posted a flashy announcement. Nexlify partners with Quantum Sync for AI innovation. It boasted game-changing synergies and a demo timeline for Tech Summit, complete with buzzwords like quantum scalability and next-era analytics. The release was unauthorized, pushed without board approval, a desperate attempt to salvage Victor's narrative post-exit. Elena spotted it during her morning scan, her tea pausing mid-sip. By 7:30 a.m., she was on a call with Quantum Sync's CEO, who denied any formal agreement. Exploratory talks. Nothing signed. By 8:02 a.m., Quantum Sync's PR team issued a retraction. No partnership exists with Nexlify Tech. We did not authorize this release. Investor Slack channels lit up, flagging it as a credibility breach and questioning leadership stability. At 8:15 a.m., Victor's keycard blinked red at the lobby reader. a soft beep sealing his banishment. Security footage showed him standing there, jabbing the card repeatedly, his tailored blazer rumpled, his face a mix of confusion and fading bravado. He muttered something inaudible, then left, shoulders slumped, a performer without a stage. Inside, Lena sat in a third-floor conference room, its stark walls lit by a single tablet glowing with the final document. Executive Transition Authorization. It needed her signature to lock Victor out permanently. She didn't hesitate. Pen met paper with a precise stroke, ink binding the decision. General Counsel nodded. Done. Not victory. Necessity. Lena emailed the signed file to the board, time-stamped 8:17 a.m. Elena had already seeded the damning configuration file to key investors. Line 472. Encryption bypass. Victor's shortcut. Live in production was a ticking GDPR violation. Slack erupted. Who approved the demo code? From engineering. Legal sign-off? From compliance. This wasn't in staging. From a panicked PM. Lena monitored silently, her dashboard open, tracking reactions. Legal posted. All releases now route through core architecture. Elena added, unauthorized. Carter leads transition. Reactions poured in. Reliefs, thumbs-ups, a few nervous emojis. Lena stood by her office window, coffee cooling, watching Victor's car pull away below. No anger, no gloating, just displacement, his shadow erased from her system. Lena's first act as director was to audit NeuralNet Pro's codebase. She pulled logs via her backdoor, still active, revealing a mess. Untested endpoints, memory leaks, vendor patches failing under load. She flagged them for rollback, scheduling syncs with engineering to rebuild. By noon, she'd interviewed 3 team leads, all relieved to work under someone who understood the code. Raj, the engineer who'd quit, texted, "Heard you're back. Rejoining? Lena, fixing first. Talk soon." Her inbox filled with requests, compliance for protocol updates, legal for audit prep, marketing begging for narrative guidance. She prioritized engineering, drafting a new roadmap, stabilize, test, deploy with governance checks. Her old algorithm, stripped by Victor, would be restored with updated encryption. The shareholder meeting was in Hall C, all glass and steel, water pitchers sweating on mahogany. Elena stood at the head, sleeves rolled, no slides. Transition complete. Core systems under review. A shareholder raised a hand. No CTO replacement? Elena, not yet. Architecture drives now. Another. Who's leading? Elena pointed to Lena, the one who built the engine and held the key. Lena spoke once, voice steady. Sync Monday. 9 a.m., roadmaps in shared drive, Q4 pivot, subfolder governance lock. A pause, then nods. An older investor chuckled. She's the firewall? Elena. Exactly. Meeting adjourned with handshakes, no applause. Lena didn't need it. She had the code. Mid-afternoon, a courier delivered an envelope. Cream stock. Advisory equity conversion. Inside, 8% equity, matured from her patents and early contributions, tied to the founding trust her mentor, Nexlify's first CTO, had seeded. Earned, no vesting. She filed it without ceremony, no tears, just a nod to what was hers. Evening, she took the stairs, the building's hum steady, like a system post-reboot. The innovation hub, dark now, felt like a relic of Victor's hype. A faint logo on the glass, Nexlify Tech, Data Ascendant. Lena's lips twitched, not a smile, but acknowledgement of her claim. Weeks later, ripples spread. Tech blogs ran pieces. Nexlify's near miss, how hype almost tanked a unicorn. Victor was named, his shortcuts dissected, Lena's role vague as an internal architect. She read over breakfast, her new retainer doubling her old pay. Victor surfaced at a low-tier startup in Denver, consulting on AI strategy, his LinkedIn sparse, comments disabled. Nexlify stabilized, teams realigned under her roadmap. She closed her notebook, adding, "System secured." Lena Carter's apartment had transformed into a fortress of focus. Its once cluttered corners now a streamlined command center for her role as Nexlify Tech's Director of Core Architecture. Dual monitors glowed with real-time dashboards tracking data flows. Encrypted drives were stacked neatly beside her workstation, and a new coffee maker hissed, fueling her late-night audits. The Chicago skyline twinkled outside, a silent witness to her quiet reclamation of the company she'd built. Victor Lang's downfall was no longer news. Tech blogs had moved on from Nexlify's near miss to newer scandals, but the ripples lingered in hushed Slack channels and industry whispers. Victor's unauthorized quantum sync press release had been the final nail, exposing his recklessness and cementing Lena's return. Her notebook, now resting on a shelf beside a framed photo of Nexlify's founding team, her younger self among coders in a cramped garage, bore a final entry from the shareholder meeting. System secured. But security wasn't enough. Lena was rewriting the future, ensuring her code, her keys, would never be overlooked again. Nexlify's wounds were healing, though scars remained. The board, chastened by the near disaster, leaned heavily on Lena's roadmap to stabilize NeuralNet Pro. She'd rolled back Victor's sloppy patches, reinstating her original algorithm's encryption protocols and adding new safeguards against data leaks. Engineering teams, once fractured by Victor's impossible deadlines, rallied under her clear directives. Test thoroughly, deploy deliberately, document everything. By mid-November, the platform was stable, passing internal stress tests with margins Victor's team could only have dreamed of. Client contracts, nearly lost to GDPR risks, were renewed after Lena personally briefed key accounts on compliance upgrades. Her inbox buzzed with gratitude from leads who'd once ignored her. "Thanks for saving us," from a PM. "You're the real deal," from a dev. She didn't reply. Her work spoke louder than words. Victor's shadow faded fast. His Denver consulting gig, a last-ditch attempt at relevance, flopped when his Medium post, "Lessons from a Bold Leap," was roasted in comments as buzzword salad. He disabled replies, but screenshots circulated in Nexlify's alumni chats, paired with memes of his gelled hair. Lena heard through Raj, who'd rejoined the company at her invitation, that Victor was pitching AI disruption to small firms, his reputation now a cautionary tale. She felt no pity, only detachment. He was a bug patched out, irrelevant to her system's next release. Inside Nexlify, her influence was quiet but absolute. Protocol 7.2c, her original governance lock, became a company mantra. Verify keyholders always. Training sessions cited it, anonymizing Lena as the architect who saved the core. She attended one, seated in the back, noting how her old memos shaped the slides. No credit claimed. Her name was in the code, eternal in the comments. The board offered her a permanent CTO role, but she declined, preferring the flexibility of director. "I don't need the title," she told Elena over coffee. "I have the keys." Elena smirked. "You always did." Her apartment was now her base, not a retreat. Retainer payments hit like clockwork, quadrupling her old salary, untaxed as a consultant. Her 8% equity, matured from patents and her mentor's founding trust, grew as Nexlify's stock climbed 12% post-stabilization. One evening, her phone buzzed, a San Francisco number. She let it ring twice. Lena Carter. It was Maya Chen, Global Ventures lead counsel from the acquisition talks. "We saw your work," Maya said, voice crisp. "Berlin portfolio needs an architect. Remote, 6-figure retainer, options, full key control." Pause. "You keep the back door?" Lena's lip twitched. "Always." Maya. "Good. Paperwork's in your inbox." Lena opened it. Contract, onboarding, reaffirmation of her protocol. Her name in bold, unerasable. She signed digitally, the click like a lock snapping shut. Late that night, Lena opened her old Nexlify inbox, archived locally. A thread from Victor caught her eye. "Legacy system slowing us down." She drafted a reply to his dead account. "Still legacy?" 5 words, unsent, but the act was enough. Her name wasn't just in the back door. It was the system, woven into every line of code that kept Nexlify alive. Victor had bet on hype. She'd bet on permanence and won. She poured a rare glass of wine, sat by the window, and watched the city pulse like her dashboards. This wasn't revenge. It was architecture, her legacy built to last. Nexlify's future was hers to shape, not as a shadow, but as the key holder, her authority coded into the company's DNA. The servers hummed below, stable, secure, hers. She raised her glass, a quiet nod to the coders of Nexlify's early days. Debuggers, architects, the unsung who kept the lights on while visionaries chased headlines. Her mentor's trust, the algorithm's birth, her backdoor's quiet power, they'd converge to make her untouchable. Lena didn't need applause. She had the code, and that was everything. Big thanks to the legends who built the systems, fixed the bugs, and held the keys when the spotlight skipped them. Subscribe to my channel for more stories of chaos flipped into control. Hit that button, and let's make those ex-bosses sweat.